Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. It is Over and Over, the shocking truth of the Church of Scientology. And here is my latest witch. Alright, hang on. I gotta turn this off. Alright, there you go. Anyway, hi guys. Let me take off my horns. It's good to see you. It is the 12th of October. So we're rolling along on October and the shocking truth. So today I'm going to tell you the thing about Scientology that's weird is that there are a ton of shocking truths. I could do a year of shocking truths. And still, there would still be more. There's stuff that comes up all the time. Now, I'm sticking with kind of the basics of the shocking truth. Some of you know them, but you know what? You never know. Maybe I'll throw something in here that you didn't know. This is about manipulation, which the Church of Scientology and any cult or any abusive organization is very good at manipulating people. Some of the shocking truth on how Scientology manipulates people is, number one, they get people in. How? You know, most people say, I would never get caught up in something like that. And if I had $1 for every person who said, well, I am a free speech advocate, you know, it's kind of funny, really. Because we got in when we were kids. It was 69 for me. You know, the internet was nowhere around. So you get in, you're around all these cool people. They're like on this bridge to total freedom, and you're nothing. You know, it doesn't matter what you were or you are. Now you're kind of a minion in Scientology, and you've got to get across this entire bridge to total freedom. And everyone's like working really hard and zooming around and speeding around, which is part of manipulation, you know, keeping everybody going so fast that you don't have time to stop and think, wait a minute, you know, do you really think this way? It's part of it. Part of the manipulation is you can't really talk to each other about this in public. You know, if you have questions, you can come see the supervisor, you can come see the ethics officer, you can come see a specific person who's basically going to get you back on the train, one way or the other. And it is a mind control train. Whether you know it or not, that's a bit of a shocking truth in itself that we could go on and on and on about. How do they manipulate you and get you into mind control? Well, some of their processes, like John talked about, clearing, you know, vacuuming out your brain. And, you know, just that you'd think that that's possible is in itself impossible. But I'm going to put a couple links on the Stanford experiment and the Milgram experiment. These are terrific experiments on how just average, regular people got, you know, manipulated into doing really weird things. And I hope you take time to watch them. And even if you've seen them, watch them again, because they're really good. So that's one, is how they get people in. They basically find your ruin most of the time. And then from that, they just keep pumping that. Now, for me, I happen to read Dianetics. But what happened for me? Before that, I was studying Buddhism, and it was very difficult to apply. And these two Scientologists came in and gave me Dianetics and said, you know, it's an applied philosophy. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what I need. Now, they had not asked me about Buddhism. They just said that's what it is, and that happened to click for me, which is sometimes how it happens. But usually they'll find out what you're having difficulty with, and then they're like, well, there's a chance Scientology can help you. Why don't you come on over? And then, of course, you walk into this magical, you know, building of people just like, wow, you came in. You're in the right place at the right time. This is perfect. Your name is Annie? Okay, come on in. We want to get you over here to show you some stuff. Would you like to do a tour? You know, they've got just, everybody's like so friendly, and you're like, yeah, sure, okay. But, you know, there's a great book I've said to many of you called Blink, and I highly recommend you read it if you haven't, because it's a great book to learn whether you're ever in a cult or not. In your life in general, it's a great book. It's about your first instincts and how scientifically your first instincts are almost always true. What was my first instinct with Scientology? I'd hitchhiked from from Chicago to Los Angeles in 1969. Walked up to American St. Hill, which was in the back of the Dianetics book, and went, ew, you know, I was a hippie, right? Fighting against the war of Vietnam, and here are all these guys in these Navy uniforms. And that was number one. I was like, ooh, you know, they're like the Navy. And that wasn't good for me. Number two, there were all these pictures of L. Ron Hubbard around. I mean, tons of them. They had huge pictures, which reminded me a lot of Hitler. It was kind of like, this is kind of spooky. And they were very organized. They were all like zooming around. And I was pretty anti-organization. So the whole thing, for me, really, if I looked at my first instinct and listened to my first instinct, I would have been on my way. But no, I didn't. I didn't listen to it, just like a lot of us. That's why I'm saying get that book link and read it, because it's really, really good. It really shows a lot of scientific experiments of what happened or what didn't happen and what could have happened if people had listened to their first instincts, including police, doctors, etc. It's really a good book. But I didn't listen to him, and I got manipulated by the Church of Scientology, which is what this whole shocking truth is about, is their manipulation of you. Whatever they have to do, they might, they'll find out from you what you really like, what's important to you, and then they make sure, what do you know? Those people start hanging around with you. Like for me, I finally went back and these guys in Chicago had said, ask for this guy on the big course. So I asked for him, and he basically answered all my questions about those things I said I was upset about. He said, don't worry about him. Let's go meet the auditors, because he found out that's what I wanted to do, was be an auditor. So let's go meet the auditors. And it was amazing. I mean, they were so cool. Back then they were like very smart, very cool. And I was like, wow, there were like 200 of them on this big course. And I was like, whatever they're doing, I want to do it. That's it. And that was really the beginning of my own critical thinking turning off. And you have to watch that if you're in, because Scientology, the manipulation is very much a dichotomy. They sell freedom, they enslave people. They sell communication, they stop communication. They sell responsibility. They're some of the most irresponsible people in the world. The management, they will not. David Miscavige said to us, the OT7s, we trained you wrong. That's what happened. That's why you're all screwed up. But what did they do? Route us to the registrar to pay another $25,000 to go back to Go and redo what we'd already paid thousands and thousands and thousands and years and years and years of our lives to do. Is that a con or is that a con? That's a con. So you have to think what your first instinct is on this. When things happen and they're weird, it's like they are weird. Don't let other people go, no, that I had that same feeling. Like John said in the last video, oh yeah, everybody has those doubts. That's okay. Just, go, the way out is the way through. That is a bunch of bullshit. The way out is the nearest door. And L. Ron Hubbard proved that right before he died. That's what he did. He died. If he didn't die to do research because he couldn't keep his body, which is what he told us, or what was told to us. He died because he died. That's what happened. And that's the truth of it. He took the nearest door, and he's out. And that's it. And he didn't come back either. So if by chance he had taken off to do his research, he's had enough years he could have come back, if he was going to come back. And he isn't back, is he? So you got to kind of look at, all right, what are the facts? The guy said he was going to come back. He's not back. Get a grip. He ain't around. He died. That's what happened. Sorry. Hate to say it. True. And you can have a few people out in the field going, well, I'm L. Ron Hubbard. It's like, right. So, they manipulate you, getting you in. They manipulate you, keeping you in, finding out what you need, what you want, and keeping that going. They also build up the fear right away. You've got to keep Scientology working, which John and I are going to do a whole series on. But that's pretty spooky in itself, because it's kind of this fear of doing the wrong thing and getting written up, or making sure you write other people up, because if you see something's out and you didn't write it up, now you're in trouble. Right? So on and on and on, all based on SP declares, right? That's the worst thing that can happen. You're declared suppressive. And I literally felt like I was swimming up Niagara Falls as a PTS person, because I have epilepsy. So, of course, I'm naturally labeled potential trouble source. Because Hubbard said if you had any physical illnesses, you must be connected to suppressive people. So I was treated like that for 30 years. And thankfully, my mother saved my life in 1972 when they made me get off my medicine for epilepsy. And my mother, I had a bunch of seizures. I was losing my short-term memory. And my mother just said, that's it. Either you're back on your medicine today, and your doctor calls me today, or I'm going to be flying out there, and L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology will never forget your mother. And I knew my mother, and she was hardcore. And I can't say it to parents enough, stay on top of your kids. don't let this cult take them over, because they will. And they just blanket. Hubbard actually had a term called blanketing, right? Where they just, take you over. Very, very spooky. So it's like you have to be stronger than them on that, and stay in touch with them, and talk to them, and call them, and, make sure, what's going on. My mother and I weren't even close. But she got it, and she started calling me, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going out on a date. She called me the next day. How was the date? And I was like, what date? And she was like, that's when she said, that's it. You know what I mean? But that wasn't, like most people think, oh yeah, my mom would do that too. My mom wouldn't. I hadn't talked to her in years. We were like way apart from each other. But when she found out I was in Scientology, she got on it, and stayed on it, and stayed on top of it. I mean, not years, but, months and months and months would go by before we talked to each other. But now, when I got in, man, she was on top of it. She was like a mom, man. And she saved my life. She did. She really did. So, the fear is another manipulation. The bridge to total freedom, where all these people are, working really fast to get up the bridge to total freedom. And you have to get on the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And part of everybody zooming around, that's part of it. Because if they weren't zooming around, they could stop and think for a minute. But if you keep them zooming around enough, and the pressure on that they've got to do this, and they've got to do that, and they've got to make more money, and, you don't have time to think. You really don't. You don't have time to go, wait a minute, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Am I having fun? And we were having fun. Like, someone wrote me today and said, oh, did you get in trouble if you didn't recruit anyone? And I said, I never recruited anybody ever. So you have to understand, some things you read, it's for specific things. Yes, there were people that recruited people in, but that wasn't me. I never got anybody in Scientology. It wasn't what I did. But I did my other stuff. I was in PR. That's what I ended up. I went in to be an auditor, but they ended up getting me into PR, just saying, oh, we need you, and we think you're the only one that can do it. They're so full of it. Oh, God. But it's just one manipulation after another. And, it's one of those things, listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Because you know what? You know what is right. Right now. And people that are trying to help other people wake up, try to use just basic kindness and basic goodness. Because there's not a lot of that around in the Church of Scientology. As much as they promote how great they are and how much their religion and all this other stuff, they're stopping free speech. And if you're not and you're in the Church of Scientology, come over to my house. I've asked you for 12 years, and not one Scientologist will talk to me. Not one. That's because L. Ron Hubbard declares you a suppressive person, which I'm very proud to be. But as a suppressive person, nobody can talk to me. I mean, I didn't have hardly any power when I was in Scientology, even though I'm in What is Scientology and everything else. I mean, let's look at that dichotomy alone. If Scientology works and it's standard, why is it I'm in What is Scientology, but the minute I leave, I'm Dracula, I'm horrible, I'm useless, she had an affair. Who'd I have an affair with? I've said it for 12 years. Bring him over. I'd like to meet him. If it works, I wouldn't be in What is Scientology, would I? Because you'd know way ahead of time unless I'm really, really evil. And that's like amazing. Maybe that's why I have all this power, because I can just step on L. Ron Hubbard way and under 3 minutes. We've timed it. 3 minutes, Anonymous is great. 3 minutes, she shut down the street. I went to Ireland. 1 minute, Tori shut it down. Magoo shut it down. Woo! And Scientology's like, see, she's suppressive. No, I'm not. It's funny. It's absolutely hysterical that you guys give that much power to a suppressive and none to the people that are in. And if you're in, just remember every time you're writing those checks, every single time, you are paying David Miscavige, and honey, it is not going to help mankind. Just look around the world. How screwed up is the world? If Scientology worked, why in hell? And don't tell me that it isn't because there aren't enough Scientologists. No. David Miscavige said when the Berlin Wall went down, it was because OT8 was released. So if you can get the Berlin Wall to go down, what about homelessness? What about people, mothers and children that aren't eating? You don't care about that? They don't. I asked an executive once about that. You know what he said? I'll have to get him next lifetime, Tori. Scientology makes the able more able. That's pathetic. That is pathetic. That you could possibly let a woman and child not eat and say it's the able more able. And any of you celebrities that might hear this, or any of you OTs that might hear this, you are responsible for this as much as they are. Remember that. Every single time a family's broken up, which you guys do all the time, you're helping, you're supporting that. Every time a child cannot talk to their mother or their father, you're responsible for that. Philip Gale, who jumped out of a 15-story window on L. Ron Hubbard's birthday. Okay, his mother can laugh about it because she's a delusional OT8, but it isn't fucking funny. That guy jumped out of a window, and I'm going to put the links to Philip Gale's story, thanks to Mark Ebner. And he says in this letter to his girlfriend, he's taking his life because he's so mediocre and he can't stand mediocrity. This is a brilliant young man who helped start Earthlink. But Scientology builds that into it. It's another one of the manipulations. You don't want to be nothing. You've got to be an OT, right? But what is an OT? There aren't any fucking OTs. There aren't any clears, okay? There aren't. And you bring one over, you bring one to James Randi, he'll pay you $1 million. So, and not one Scientologist has ever taken that up. And that's proof right there that there aren't any. $1 million, and they, well, he'd just invalidate our wins. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't at all. Show him. Go on over and show him. Why don't you? Because you can't. Just face the facts. And for Philip Gale, for everyone that's saying Scientology works, I don't care if you're in or out, you have to remember every time you say that with these OT levels, you are creating people like Philip Gale who feel like there's no way he can make it. And he took his own life. He jumped out of a 15-story window on L. Ron Hubbard's birthday. That is the worst story ever. And I thank you to every single person who helps expose the abuses of this insidious, awful, lying, phony organization pretending to be a church when it is nothing like a religion. Nothing. And even if you're against religion, it's 1,000 times from what an average church is. It's a cult. It's a mind control, mafia-like organization per Judge Breckenridge. Period. So watch the links. Thank you for everything you do. And I appreciate you watching The Shocking Truth. All right, so take care.